Welcome back, everyone, to the late night review. And tonight, I'm so happy to finally get to a movie that I've always really liked. It's always been one of my very favorite action movies with Sylvester Stallone. Yes, it's another Rambo. I'm talking about Rambo 3. Came out in 1988. I got a lot of nostalgia for this movie. I do. I have a lot of nostalgia for part 1. Part two, part one's definitely a sentimental favorite of mine. It's about Vietnam. My dad was in Vietnam, as I talked about in the other two Rambo reviews that I did, Rambo 1 and 2. Rambo 3 doesn't really have anything to do with Vietnam, but to me, it's really a good action movie. I actually like it better than part 2. Part 2 is really good. Part 2 is mostly action. It's got some drama too because he's looking for POWs, but it's mostly an action movie. This is definitely full on action. Every Rambo movie has some drama, some sad stuff in it, but this is primarily an action film. And I do like it better than part 2. I love part 2, but I like Rambo 3 a little bit more because, significantly more because it's just got so much action in it. Even though Rambo 2 had a lot of action in it, this one has even more. And Sylvester Stallone's build is great in all of them, but I think Rambo 3, his build is actually the best. And I just have so much fun with this movie. Yes, it's got some disturbing parts in it, as all of them do, but I think I have the most, out of all the Rambo movies, I think I have the most fun with Rambo 3. Big action movie. Spent a lot of money, I believe, from what I remember, a lot of money on the action, the explosions, all these practical effects. I love the stick fighting at the beginning of this movie where Rambo's in that stick fight in Thailand. He's living in Thailand, and he is working in a monastery, living there, helping out. He's also stick fighting, and Colonel Troutman goes out looking for him because he's got yet another mission. Can't catch a break. He's trying to just live more of a secluded, quiet life for the most part, anyway, even though he's stick fighting. And there's just, his build is so good in here. I got to tell you, I have a lot of nostalgia for this movie as well as most of the movies on this channel, but this one really stands out for me too. I remember I did not see this one at the theater. I saw part 2 at the theater, but I did not see part 3 at the theater. In fact, I didn't see most of them at the theater. And I believe part 1 was the first time I ever seen part 1. I think it was on TV. I believe it was either a videotape that my parents rented or it was on TV. I might have seen it at the theater. I may have. But I saw part 2 at the theater for sure. I remember I was with my uncle. My uncle took me to see part 2. Part 3 I did not see, but I have a lot of nostalgia for it. That night we couldn't wait for it to come out. I know I couldn't wait for it to come out. It was rented. I was ready to watch it. We ordered pizza. I think it was pizza from either Godfather's or Pizza Hut. I can't remember. I'm not quite sure, but just I remember that night pretty well. I watched this movie, had pizza, enjoyed myself, just ton of action. Like I said at the beginning, there's that really great stick fighting sequence with Sylvester Stallone and his build. I mean, he's so ripped in here. It was in such great shape. He got such a great phenomenal condition in this movie. But it's so fun. And the stick fighting, I remember that. And then Colonel Troutman finds him working at the monastery and helping out, tries to recruit him for another mission to go to Afghanistan and to help the people there that are being, they're occupied. The Soviet Union came in and they're occupying Afghanistan, and Rambo is asked to go in there because the Soviet commander in that sector's he's exceptionally brutal, is what they tell him, and he is really they're really tormenting the people there, really brutal on the people there, oppressing them, killing them, committing atrocities and war crimes and all that. and they ask Rambo to go there to help the people and to fight against that Russian commander. And he says he put in his time, his war is over, and he did what he had to do. Now he wants to live his life. And so Colonel Troutman he goes to talk to him, and he says, you know, you're not this fighting machine that we made you. We just chipped away the rough edges. And he tells him kind of this story about a long time ago, they found this special stone, and then this sculpture, this sculpture worked on this stone, and someone told him, wow, you worked on that stone and you created a great image. What an image that you created. And he says he didn't create anything. He said the statue, the image was always there. He just chipped away the rough edges. And then Troutman says, we didn't make you this fighting machine. We just chipped away the rough edges. And he says, you're going to be chipping away at yourself, tearing away at yourself on the inside until you come to terms with what you really are. And then John Rambo says, and what do you think I am? And he says, a full-blooded combat soldier. So anyway, Rambo doesn't want to go. Troutman goes in. Troutman gets captured. Rambo hears about it. Then he changes his mind, and he wants to go rescue his friend. That's the story. He goes in on a rescue mission he goes to Afghanistan. He's going to try to rescue Troutman from a Soviet prison. I like the movie. The Mujahideen is in there. They're fighting against the Soviets. You know, it's something you help people, and then later on they turn around, and you know the whole thing that happened there in Afghanistan and all that stuff. But you know, at the time we were allied against them. Uh, you know, with them, we were allied with them against the Soviet Union. But things change big time. You know how that story went. But it's Sylvester Stallone goes there, helps the people. It's really an interesting movie to me. I think the story is interesting, although basic. It's pretty simple, but I like my stories often simple when it comes to action movies, but I appreciate the depth when they have it. But for an action movie, for a Rambo movie, I get everything I was looking for. A lot of fighting, a lot of shooting, a lot of explosions. Rambo pretty much at his peak. Yeah, this movie it's really good, but it doesn't have the drama like the first one. I would say primarily the first one is a drama. Second and third one, they're action movies. The fourth one's a combination of drama and action. And that's a great movie. I really like that. The fifth one has drama too. It's more personal, but a lot of action. I really am a fan of this whole franchise. But Rambo 3 out of all of them, I'm not saying it's my number one. I'm not saying it's my favorite out of all of them. I'm just saying if I want to have a action-packed, kind of entertaining time, usually Rambo 3 is the one I go to. That's the one that I have the most fun with. I I go back and forth on which one is my favorite. Usually it's part one, just for nostalgia and for sentimental reasons. But sometimes I like three and four a little better. It depends on what mood I'm in. It depends on whether I want more drama or more action. I like the fifth one too, and part two. But part three's always just been one of my favorites. And I like the desert scenery. I like the fact that they changed it up. It's pretty unique in terms of the Rambo films because it's really the only one in the desert. It's the only one really in the desert, except for part five. There's obviously some desert sequences in there, but not as much as part three. Because in part five, it has to do with the Mexican drug cartel and all that. So there's a little bit of the, dry areas and little deserty kind of areas, but not like in part three. Part three is just full on desert, except at the beginning when Troutman finds him stick fighting in Thailand. Because in part two, he was in that part of the world and he just stayed. I guess he just stayed. After part two, he just stayed in Asia and went to Thailand, stayed there, and kind of had a private life until Troutman finds him again. Rambo can't get a break, and but it's a movie I have a lot of nostalgia for. I can sit here and talk about it pretty much all night. I always had a lot of fun with it. Uh, in terms of story, I find it interesting. I like it. I think it's exciting. It might not be as deep as some people want, and I understand that, but it's an action film. If you haven't seen it, I strongly recommend it. I give it a thumbs way up, as you could tell. And I think if you like action movies and if you like Sylvester Stallone and 80s action, I think you'll really like this movie. Assuming that this is your type of movie, I think you'll really like it. I think you're in for a treat if you haven't seen it. But most people have seen this movie. Most people have. So almost all my reviews are spoiler reviews because I'm usually talking about movies that are decades old, or at least quite a few years old, quite a few years that they've been out. And I like this movie. It's really, really entertaining to me. And it's one of my favorites. Rambo 3 got a lot of nostalgia for it. I can kind of smell and taste the pizza now. It was either Godfather's Pizza or Pizza Hut that we had when we were watching this movie, and I had Coca-Cola. I was drinking Coca-Cola back then. It was either Coca-Cola or Pepsi, but yeah, some good times. But watching these movies back then in the 80s. This came out in 88, and it's one of my favorites. And if you haven't seen it, I think you're in for a treat. I highly recommend it. This has been the Late Night Review. Please like and subscribe, share this video, hype it up, pump it up, and let other people know so more people watch the channel and they can enjoy this type of content. So take care, everybody, and have a good night.